Recording.
Okay, great. And we've got,
Just have to search around. Oh, I got my chat open now.
you are cooking with gas. And I'm taking attendance. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think we're expecting, maybe we're going to have 11 today. So we will wait just another minute. Thank you for those of you who came early or exactly right on time. We appreciate it. But I would like to wait just a minute and see if anybody else comes. Oh, there's another one.
Sounds like one.
No, that might have been just an email. So I've got 7. Maybe one more minute.
Yeah, it may take a while for people to get on.
Yeah.
Oops.
I do that.
Do that.
Don't see anybody else at this point. Again, thanks to those of you who are here, and I'm sorry to have you wait. Well, maybe we will just go ahead and get started because I am just too excited to meet you all and to start sharing with you more about the social work department. My name is Dr. Lisa McGuire, and I am the department head for social work. I have been at JMU for 8 years, and I look forward to welcoming you to our program. This is an important step in moving from having a first-year advisor as a freshman to coming into the program and having a social work faculty member at becoming your advisor. I have here with me today, who's making this presentation with me, Dr. Terrence Fernsler, Terry. He is our minor advisor. So if you are interested in declaring one of our social work minors, he is the go-to person. And he's going to be helping me with doing these first meetings with students. So after today's meeting that you have attended, we will send you a link, and we'll talk more about this at the end of the presentation, and you will sign up for an individual interview with one or both of us, and we will actually plan out your basic schedule for the full 4 years that you're going to be in JMU, or whatever, if it's less than that, or hopefully not more than that right now, but maybe. Whatever, so that you will know exactly what you need to be taking over the next few semesters. So that's who we are. And Terry, I'll let you do the next one.
Okay, I get the easy part. There we go. Because I'm going to ask each of you to, if we have enough bandwidth, or if you have enough bandwidth, to unmute and show your picture of yourself. You're going to be in classes together, many of you. So this is a great opportunity for you to all get to know each other. So we'll go one at a time. And Lisa, if you can help me figure out who has spoken and who hasn't, that would be helpful.
Okay, I'm just going to go in order across the top of my screen. So
okay.
Anna is up first.
Hey, my name's Anna Cox, and I'm a freshman. And I would love to work with Child Protective Services and social work. So I think that's why I'm interested in learning more about it.
This is a great place to be. My area is child welfare, so welcome and very glad to have you. Jasmine, how about you?
Hi, my name's Jasmine. I'm a freshman and I'm interested in child welfare social work or medical social work, like working in the hospitals.
That is great. And just so that you know, nobody's gonna, I mean, we are recording this session, but nobody's gonna come back to you and say, you said child welfare and now you're doing medical or mental health. We're just trying to get a feel for where you're at. And all of these things are great things. And in your social work classes, you'll have a chance to explore lots of different kinds of social work as we move along. So that's great. You do not have to know the answer to this yet. And whatever you say is fine with me.
And me. You may, as you take courses, you may change your minds about what direction you want to go. And that's fine.
Next up, we have Julianne.
Hi, so I'm Julianne. I'm a freshman. I'm not totally sure what I want to do in social work, but I'm really interested in the Peace Corps and the youth and development sector of the Peace Corps. So,
that is great. And I don't know if you know, but there is like, it's not a minor, but there are certain courses that are recommended for the Peace Corps. So you might search that out on the JMU website and see, because and social work courses are among all of those. So that's a great, we are very supportive. One of our faculty members, Cindy Hunter, was in the Peace Corps in El Salvador for many years. So yeah, we're big fans of the Peace Corps here. How about Caitlin Klein?
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm a freshman. I want to kind of go into like clinical social work.
That is great. Welcome, Caitlin. It sounds like you're having a little trouble with bandwidth and stuff, so that's great. We're happy to meet you. How about Catherine Morris?
Hi, my name's Catherine, but I go by Michaela. I'm a freshman and I want to do child, family, or school social work.
That's wonderful. Welcome. How about Katrina Piccolino?
Hi, I'm Katrina. I'm a freshman, and I'm not really sure what I'm exactly interested in, but maybe like mental health or like child social work.
Sounds great. Sounds great. How about Caitlin Bristol?
Caitlin, you're muted.
Okay, we'll come back to you. That's fine. Do you want it, Caitlin? Do you want to put it in the chat? Is that possible? Nope, I think her connection is having trouble. So hopefully we'll get back to her. Madeline Horrigan.
Hi, I'm Madeline. I'm a freshman. I'm not 100% sure what I'm interested in yet, or what I want to pursue, but I'm interested in nonprofits.
Ah, great. Well, you might want to talk to Terry about the nonprofit studies minor when you have a meeting. I would try to sign up for a meeting with him then rather than me, because he can talk to you about that, and that would be fabulous. Great. Let's see. Did we do Catherine Morris? There are a lot of K first names here, so.
Yes, ma'am, you did.
Okay, good. I just, how about Lillian Jansen?
Hi, I'm Lily. I am a freshman, and I'm interested in crisis intervention and substance use.
Excellent, excellent. There is a major or a minor in substance use prevention that many of our social work courses count for. And you might check out that minor. You need to meet with the minor advisor, Catherine Ott Walker, but check it out online, because if you take all of the social work courses, I think you only need to take 2 additional courses to complete that minor. So that's a good one. Let's see. Did I leave anybody out? Did everybody get to introduce themselves? Great.
Thank you all. So Dr. McGuire is going to give you some general information about the BSW program that you're entering.
That's right. So many of you talked about specific kinds of things, working with children and families, working with medical, working clinically, working in mental health. All of those things are under the auspice of social work. But at the undergraduate level, our program is what we call generalist, which means we're not going to prepare you for any one of those specific areas. We're going to prepare you with knowledge, values, and skills that are going to be able to cut across all of those things. And then if you do choose to stay in the social work profession, many people, and about 2/3 of our students, will go on to graduate school for their MSW. And there's this thing called advanced standing that if you have a BSW from an accredited program, you can apply for advanced standing and then get your master's degree in usually 12 calendar months. So, and that's where you specialize in maybe children and family or clinical social work or medical health social work. So our generalist curriculum is great for all kinds of entry-level careers: child welfare, mental health, criminal justice, health. Now you can choose to sort of focus your education, and all of you, I think, were freshmen, which means you're going to have some spaces in your curriculum when you've done all your gen eds and when you've done your different levels of social work courses. So it's a great time to think about a minor, and Terry will talk about those a little bit later. But if you are interested in the minors in the social work department, Terry, you should sign up with Terry for your individual appointment. If you're interested in other minors outside or not, you don't have to do a minor. But one of the things that's really good as a freshman is when you declare a minor, it allows you to take some classes that you're interested in. And you know how challenging it can be to get the classes that you want at JMU, right? So a minor is sort of a way to open up some classes to you that wouldn't be available to you in other ways. So as a freshman, it's a really good thing to think about that. Sometimes if you're further along, getting a minor is really hard because you can't fit everything in that you need. But as freshmen, you shouldn't have that problem. So it really is a great time to be thinking about all of those things. At JMU, this is a wonderful program. We have a very high rate of acceptance into MSW programs, advanced standing. Our students go all across the country for their advanced standing. And as I said, that's where you specialize in a certain kind of practice. We also have students who are going on to law school or masters in public policy or masters in counseling or psychology. It's a great preparation for any of those things. But most of our students are really thinking about the MSW program as their sort of end goal, and this is a great, great place. So hopefully you're in where you want to be, and it sure sounds like it based on the kinds of practice and the things that you want to do. So that is that.
So now that you're on your way into the social work major, there's typical progressions that you'll want to go through, and completing your gen eds or getting at least as many of them out of the way before you start taking social work core courses and electives is a great idea. The gen eds are designed to give you broad education. And a lot of times students think of gen eds as something they just have to take, But there's really some fundamental things that you need to remember when you take those gen eds. In the courses I teach in the nonprofit studies minor, for example, we talk about philosophy, we talk about finances, we talk about finances and economics, and we talk about history, we talk about sociology, psychology. So if you remember a lot of the things from the gen ed courses, it's going to help you in your major and if you take any minor courses in those courses as well. When you're taking your gen eds, there are certain courses that you want to take as prerequisites for social work courses. In cluster 1 of the gen eds, you can take pretty much anything, and do remember to take your MREST. I think you have to take your freshman year. So remember to do that. If you don't do well the first time, you have multiple times to take it. Cluster 2 also, pretty much any course that you want of those that are offered. Each cluster has, I don't know what they call them, it's like little focuses or clusters within clusters. I don't know what they're called, but you can take almost any of the courses. Ideally, you want to take something that interests you. You can't always do that because you're competing with a lot of other students for these courses. But do the best you can. Cluster 3, there is, in the quantitative reasoning group, you'll want to take Math 220. If you don't test well for Math 220, you may have to take Math 105 before that. So when you do your math testing, it's a good idea if you know what your scores are before you come see Dr. McGuire or I, so we can put you in the right class. I will tell you that in the physical principles group, everybody wants to take astronomy. Everybody. And most students who do get into it are juniors and seniors because they get to enroll earlier than you freshmen or sophomores. If you're lucky and you try for astronomy, go for it. My understanding is you get to, depending on the instructor and the semester, you get to go out and look at the stars, which is pretty cool. Remember to take your labs in your cluster 3. In cluster 4 for social work majors, there's some key things that you have to remember. In the American Experience group, you'll want to go for POSH 225, Political Science 225. That is a prerequisite for, oh, Lisa, I can't remember which course that's a prerequisite for, but it is a prerequisite for social work students.
It's for our policy class.
Policy class, of course.
Social work 335.
Yeah. And in the global experience, you'll want to take 2 courses, ANTH 195 and SOCI 110. When you meet with us individually, we'll remind you of that. But if you can take notes now, it's going to help you and help us when we do meet with you. And then finally, in cluster 5, the socioculture domain, you'll take both Psych 101 and Psych 160. So yeah, just kind of remember that some of the groups in different clusters, you'll have to take 2 courses, and you'll take particular ones in the other ones. Any questions on gen eds for now? I hope people aren't nodding because I can't see, or shaking your heads because I can't see all of you at the same time. Okay.
I don't see anything in the chat, and you are welcome to put stuff in the chat if you have specific questions. And like I said, after we go over all this, we will be meeting with each one of you and we'll have your transcript. And so we'll be able to look at this and do some planning for you. So, but we just wanted to give you the big picture. And welcome back, Caitlin Bristol. Thank you. Yeah, I could see you had problems. Do you want to just say hello to everybody and tell them what areas of social work you might be interested in?
Yeah, sure. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience before. My name's Caitlin Bristol, and I really am hoping to work in either the criminal justice section or the prison systems of social work.
Okay, and again, we were talking about how some students might need to get minors, which will allow you to open up some classes that wouldn't usually be opened up for you. And there is a brand new minor that is, I think it's called Youth Justice, or it might be called Transforming Youth Justice. And that might be something you would be interested in. It's some really interesting team taught stuff. So, yeah. So,
yes, thank you so much.
You are welcome. And again, these are things we'll talk to you about in your individual meetings. So now, as you're thinking about your sophomore year and you're getting ready to plan your schedule, what we would like you to do is plan to take our first 2 required introductory social work courses. Social Work 287, which is Introduction to Social Work, and Social Work 288, which is Human Rights, Social Welfare, and Social and Environmental and Economic Justice. Are any of you by any chance in one of those classes right now? Yeah, okay. So some of you, you were able to do that, and that is perfectly fine. Our advice is not to take them both in the same semester, because we really like you to be taking a social work class each semester. So spread them out a little as you're finishing up all these gen eds and these prerequisites from the previous slide, because when you get to your 300 level classes, that's when you will need all of those supportive area requirement gen ed prerequisites. So please try to get those. And if you haven't already taken these 2, I would do one semester and one the next semester. And it doesn't matter what order you take them in. You can take them in either order. So yeah, so that's what you will be doing in your 300 in your second year, sophomore year. You will be finishing up your gen eds, getting these 2 courses. So by the time a year from now, hopefully you will have almost all your gen eds done. You will have both of these courses, and you will have those prerequisites so that you can go right on into your junior level classes.
When you come to meet with us individually, we'll try to split you up between 287 and 288 so that no one class gets really full. But we'll get you both courses.
Absolutely.
Over 2 semesters.
So as we're thinking about entering into the social work classes, I want to make sure that you understand that this is a professional program. And you know that because you don't graduate with a BA or a BS, right? You graduate with a BSW. And what that means is that we are not just concerned about knowledge about social work, but we are really concerned about your skills and your preparation to move into practice. And as you'll see in a minute, your last semester in the social work program, you're in an agency 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., actually practicing social work. So in that sense, our degree is much more like nursing or education than it is like undergraduate psychology or sociology, which are knowledge-based professions. So what that means to you is that we do have expectations for your professional behavior as well as for your knowledge. And so we are going to be in all of your classes preparing you to be able to demonstrate competencies, things that you have to do in that final semester. You will have a field evaluation, you will have a written comprehensive evaluation that's case-based, and you will have an oral case-based presentation that you will make, all of which demonstrate your ability to do social work, not just to know about it. So we do have some expectations beyond what may be in other programs. For all of your social work classes, you must pass those with a grade of C or better. Anything less than a C is not passing for social work. And you're able to take each class once. So you can do a repeat. Every once in a while we have students with different circumstances, but it is important for you to know that if you cannot pass one of our classes after 2 tries, you are dismissed from the major. We also do have an application process that goes along with this that's required by our accrediting body. And after you've completed 287 and 288, and the semester after you've got both of those, then you will formally apply to the major, and you'll write us some essays about the NASW Code of Ethics, which if you're in Intro to Social Work, you know what that is. If you're not, you may not yet, and that's okay. We also ask for references about how you work with people. Are you a responsible person? Do you show up when you say you're going to? Do you treat people with dignity and respect? Just really basic things, but we'll ask you for some references. And these are the kinds of professional behaviors that we are looking for. So we do think that things like classroom attendance predict how you're going to be in the field. So in our classes, part of your grade is going to have to do with the professional behaviors, the way you attend, whether you attend on time, whether you treat your fellow students with dignity and respect. So if you're assigned a group project, for example, that you are going to do your part, you're going to communicate regularly, because all of those are the professional kinds of behaviors that we are looking for, that you are going to have to demonstrate when you're working with people in the field in your final semester. And what we don't want to have is people that are not ready for that level of responsibility. So we're trying to build that into your courses all along, which is why you will see that we're always looking at your professional behaviors, not just your knowledge around some of these subjects. And we encourage all of you to read our student handbook. It's on the BSW website, the departmental website. It's under forms and documents, and it will provide a whole lot more information. We'll also talk about that in your social work introductory classes and with your advisor when you're going through the admissions process. So this is just kind of letting you know about that and letting you think about that we do have these, I hate to be hierarchical, but they really are higher expectations for professional practice students than just run-of-the-mill college students. I've told people many times, my undergraduate degree was actually in psychology, which was a knowledge-based program. I'm not sure that I had the interpersonal maturity to have been a social work major. My attendance wasn't always great, and I just wasn't there yet. Now I went on and did a job that was very social work, met some social workers after I graduated and said, ooh, that's what I want to do. And I got my master's degree. And by then I did have that interprofessional maturity, and I was able to to make it in the field. But we ask a lot of you, and we don't expect it right out the gate, right? But as you move along in that program, that's something that we're going to be talking with you about and looking at.
So do as Dr. McGuire says, not as she gives.
Exactly.
So once you apply and are accepted, formally accepted to the social work program, these are the core courses that you'll be taking. So typically you'll take 2 of the social work 300 level courses you see in the junior year courses list, 2 each semester. And these are the core courses. And then there's two or three, Lisa, electives that are required.
There are 2 electives in the social work program, yes.
Okay, right. Thank you. As somebody who deals with minor students, I get a wide variety of how many requirements there are. So besides social work 305, 335, 317, and 320, you'll also have 2 electives from the social work from SOWK. And you can take them during your junior year. You can take one of them in your senior year, but not your last semester. We'll talk about that. I'll talk about that in a minute. You can even take them, well, no, I won't say that. But there's plenty of room in your schedule to do that, even if you still have a few gen eds left, and even if you're taking minor courses. And of course, to get into these 4 courses, you need to take the prereqs, such as the gen eds that I talked about earlier, the anthropology 195, sociology 110, and so on. Then as seniors, and I will say that this is typical for most students, sometimes we have to make changes because things happen in your lives, but we'll work with you to do that. But as seniors, your first semester as a senior, you'll take what are called the 3 M's: micro, macro, and meso. So that's sociology of the individual, sociology of the community, and sociology of, Lisa, I need help here.
It's that's okay. It's actually social work practice with individuals and families, social work practice with groups, and social work practice with communities and organizations.
Thank you.
And so each of those are advanced practice classes to help prepare you to be going out into the field.
Into the field. And the IPE 415 ethics also helps prepare you to go out into the field. Your last semester, you'll be doing field work. I think it's at least 4 days a week. If you have any gen eds and minor courses, you'll want to get them all done before that last semester, because you're out in the field and you may have to travel back and forth between campus or home from your field work. And there just may not be time to take any other courses during that last semester. There's a few exceptions, like nonprofit studies. The nonprofit studies capstone is typically held in the evenings. And there's some other minors that will do that as well. But it's always a good idea to plan in advance to get all of your minor and gen eds out of the way before you get into that last semester. So that second semester, social work 481 and 482, those are each half block courses, which means it's a half semester each, but it's all field work. And then the capstone, frankly, I don't know a whole lot about the capstone, but it's a lot of work too.
I teach the class.
So you know
Capstone is my class. It really is. It's not a class where you're learning new things necessarily. There's a little new content in there that we throw in every now and then. But for the most part, it's trying to pull together all of the knowledge from every other social work class that you've had. And so when I teach that class, I have you put together an electronic portfolio with certain entries that demonstrate. They may be documents from previous classes that you've done, but you're going to think about them a little bit differently. And then you create some new essays we call personal statements. This is also where the grades live for your written and your oral comp. Those 2 tests make up 50% of your grade for the class. So it really is just kind of a way that pulls everything together. We meet every other Friday. It's some online, some together, because you are in field those other 4 days. It's a very full semester, and we really don't want you having to take another class unless you absolutely have to. Like the MPS capstone is one thing that we've made an exception for. We've also, if somebody has missed a class, sometimes, for gen eds, we don't want you to not be able to graduate. So we'll do that. But that's why we do this planning, so that hopefully if you've gotten a good plan and you follow it and gotten all your classes, it's smooth sailing. But you can see that almost all of the classes in your senior year are going to be social work classes. So that's why we want all the gen eds, all the minor stuff as much as possible out of the way before you get to your senior year in the program.
And you'll see all of these upper level BSW courses are rigorous, but these are the courses that you really are interested in. These are your major courses. These are what you came to JMU or what you're planning to do in JMU. So even though they're rigorous, they can be a lot more fun, and you learn a lot. You learn a lot.
Absolutely. So, Terry, go ahead and talk about minors.
Yes. So there are something like 120 minors that you can take at James Madison University. There's a whole page listing them. There are 2 minors that are housed in the social work department. The first is family studies, and family studies has 2 focuses, or foci, which is the plural of focus. It just sounds funny. The family ecology focus is kind of more broad-based about interrelationships within the family, and you can even focus on different or concentrate on different areas of family ecology. You might want to be interested in children and how they relate to parents. You might be more interested in the family as a whole, for example. And then the other focus is gerontology. And we're getting an increasing number of students interested in gerontology because our population keeps aging. I like it when students take gerontology, because you'll be taking care of me in not too distant future. And then finally, the third or the second minor housed in social work is nonprofit studies. And I have a heavy hand in that. I'm the advisor for all the nonprofit studies minors. I teach a couple of the courses, and in both of these minors, we really work to get you through to complete the minors as best as we can. Sometimes we'll make substitutions. We don't always like it, but sometimes we just have to bend over backwards in order to get you through. These 2 minors are housed in social work because they're related to social work so much. You wouldn't think nonprofit studies is that related to social work, but believe me, having come up through the nonprofit ranks, I used to work with a lot of social workers. Most nonprofits from the baby boom generation were started by social workers. And nonprofit studies relies heavily on relationships. So it just seems fitting that, and of course, family studies would be housed in the social work. There are other minors outside of our department. You can see, and Dr. McGuire mentioned a few of them: substance abuse prevention, exceptional education, disability studies. More and more students, I find, are taking some foreign languages so that they can communicate better in terms of social work and the work that they'll be doing, communicate better with populations whose first language may not be English.
So we have hopefully told you all about what you are facing in the future in the social work program. So now we really want to make this individualized. And we actually have more freshmen than we have had in a while. I think Kelly told me there may be 35 on the list, which usually it's closer to 25, which doesn't, it's great. So, and just so that you know, in the spring, we usually graduate about 50 students. So you guys are ahead of the curve in terms of, a lot of times it takes people a while to find social work. And as you talk to your friends and they're trying to figure out what their majors are, and other upper class folks talk, We get a lot of students coming in as sophomores, either changing their major or declaring social work from being undeclared. We even every once in a while get juniors who are saying, oh my gosh, I've just found out about social work. I need to make this switch. So by the time you graduate, if you graduate in 8 semesters, you will be joined by another 20 or 25, maybe more students. And then there are also a group of students who graduate in the fall. And this year we're having, I think there's 17 or 18 of them, which is one of the biggest fall groups we've had. So this is a growing major right now, which is great. So what we would like you to do is after this meeting, I've been keeping track of who was here, and I am going to send you an email that has a link to it to a document. And that is a sign-up sheet. So be looking for that. As soon as I get off the email, I'm going to start sending it. So it'll take a while. It's on what is called, it's like Google Docs, but it's not Google Docs because we had some trouble with Google Docs. It's in the program called JMU OneDrive. And it's related to JMU, and you should be able to log on if it asks you for log on with your JMU credentials. So when you get that email from me, click on it. It'll take you to the sign-up sheet. And Terry and I have laid out lots of appointments for next week so that we can get your schedule laid out. So please sign up for one of those as soon as you are able. As I mentioned, if you are thinking about nonprofit studies minor or the FAM minor, I would suggest you sign up with Terry if possible, because he's the expert on that. I can probably do your plan as well, but Terry's the expert. So if you can get with him, that's great. If not, you'll have to deal with me. And then at that meeting, we will let you know who your social work faculty member is that will be your advisor. If you've already gone into My Madison, you may see that your advisor's already been changed from your freshman advisor, but we'll tell you about that and talk about that as well. Now, Terry is not a social work advisor, and right now I'm not taking additional students. So it won't be Terry and it won't be me, but we're going to do the planning, and then we'll pass you on to your social work advisor person, and they will have a copy of all the materials that we did. We'll give you a copy of the schedule that we lay out, and your advisor will have that. And so we just encourage you to reach out to that person. Is there anybody here in this meeting that has not already declared social work as a major? I think I recognize all your names. So we did invite anybody that was just interested. So I just wanted to make sure there's another process that you have to do. So if you're not a declared social worker, you probably need to do that. And then you should be ready to register for classes in the fall. We'll have a copy of your transcript, see what you've taken, look and see what you still need to take. And then if you have problems going forward, the go-to person after we met with you will be your social work faculty advisor. So we'll give you those names. And if you are on campus and would like to come over to the second floor of the HBS building, there is a bulletin board that has pictures of all of our department faculty. It's online too. And it also, there's a board where all of our students are doing their senior practicum. We just got the new pictures up for this crop of 47 students this spring. So you might want to take a look at that. Hopefully next semester we'll be doing much more stuff on campus, so you'll have a chance to do that. But if you haven't done that, it might be a good thing to do. And please do reach out to your advisor. They will have office hours as well, and they will have your academic records as well as the folder that we're going to put together. So so I think that is it. So look for the email from me and click on that, and please sign up so that we can get you planned.
And even if you take one of the social work minors, and I'll be your advisor, I will often refer you to your major advisor to make sure that it fits into your schedule. If any changes we want to do fits into your schedule. So it's always a good idea and I'll remind students when I meet with you individually, I'm sure Dr. McGuire will too, just to drop them an email and say, I'm a new advisee of yours. And sometimes they may be interested in doing a WebEx or a Zoom call with you just to get to know you a little better. Well, I think we pretty much went over this.
Did we talk about all this? Yeah. Your advisor really from now on is your go-to person. And when you go to do your application, you will have to meet with your advisor. When you're getting ready for field, you'll have to meet with your advisor. So, you know, the sooner you begin to develop a relationship with that person, the better it is. So they know who you are and what the things that you're looking at. And then I was talking about professional behavior. And if the faculty determines that you're struggling with some of those things and we just don't see you able to meet those expectations, we will often ask your advisor to reach out to you and talk with you about it. Because again, our goal is that you will all be successful. When you get into the field and everything will go great, that's what we want. So we want to make sure that we do everything we can to work with you before you get there so that you will be successful. That's how we really look at it. We're not trying to get you in trouble or something. So, yeah.
And as someone who's not a social work instructor, I can tell you that all the faculty here in the social work department are very nice people. They're social workers. And they are here to help you get through the program as best and as professionally as you can. Not like some majors where they're weeding out students. That's not social work.
That is not how we look at it. And I should say for the admissions process, our minimum or our required GPA is a 2.0, which is a C average. We are not necessarily looking for academic superstars. We like them, but it is not a requirement to be a good social worker. We're really much more interested in your level of participation and the way you treat other people and your commitment to social, economic, and environmental justice. Those are things that are very important to us and that we see in your behavior as we move along. And of course, there is content that you have to learn as well. So yeah, that goes along with saying. So I think we've covered the stuff that we need to cover. Are there any questions? You can either put them in the chat or ask them out loud. Anything? Terry, we did good.
We did good. I'm going to try to share. I'm going to go out of here just so students can see. Well, it's not letting me do what I want it to do. See the sign-up sheet? Let's try share. I think this is it.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. So there's more time slots than you. Typically, it takes us a half an hour to talk with you individually, and this is where we really tailor your schedule. And again, things happen, so we know that we may have to make changes over the course of your academic career, but it takes typically about half an hour to go through your individual initial advising. And you'll see that there's a lot of time slots, more than there are people, more than there are students. You only have to go once for this.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you might have to try. I don't think so.
So when you go in to sign up, this is what it looks like. And you would put your name in one of these slots. And then we'll arrange, whoever it is, whether it's Dr. McGuire or myself, we'll arrange, schedule WebEx or Zoom, depending on our mood.
Yeah, we'll send the invitation to you to get that done.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if there are not any questions, like I said, after this meeting, I will go in and hopefully send you an email to this, which will allow you to sign up. And then we, both Terry and I, whoever you end up meeting with, we will really look forward to seeing you. Welcome to the department. I don't know, do you guys get emails from the department already?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you did because you're all declared majors. So you know the kinds of things that come out. You'll get an email about courses from us. Not all of it will apply to you, but like if I hear about an interesting elective or an interesting opportunity, I'll stick that in there. And, you know, you've seen those as they come along. So, and you guys have, your group, your cohort has done so much better than most in terms of responding to email and getting you to this meeting. So good for you. Keep reading those emails and feel free to hit delete if it doesn't relate to you, but because this really is the only way we have to communicate with you as a group. So again, we're very happy to have you, and I look forward to meeting with some of you, and at some point probably seeing many of you. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
You are so welcome.
Just want to say I'm so sorry again for being late and having
Oh.
a connection. I was trying to be selfish and take the meeting outside because it's so nice outside, and I should not have done that.
Yeah, well, no, good for you for trying. Sunshine is good. No worries.
It
No
is.
worries.
So much.
And
Thank you.
vitamin D helps prevent COVID.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Caitlin.
All
How
right.
do we do?
I think we did okay. Can you
Can I
stop?
stop recording?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Stop.